So we have a brand new Dragon Ball Super Episode 47 trailer depicting what exactly is going to go down in approximately 2 days. Joining me here today, guys, is GeeklistTV, my good friend MJ, as we discuss and break down our thoughts on the trailer that we saw. The link to that trailer will be down below in case you guys want to go ahead and watch, in which case I really hope you guys do, because that trailer got me so pumped up to what's going to happen. Now, there were several things that we saw in this little trailer preview that we haven't seen in the overall episode preview last week. So I wanted to get your thoughts on this, especially with like the certain things that we've seen within the trailer itself. Now, there was one particular shot that I really want to talk about that really caught my interest, and that was the freeze framing portion where we see this entity, we see this demonic figure holding on to Trunks' throat. He had him hoisted up in the air, and judging based on his body and having a look at how he looks and the way he's structured, to me at least, this does not seem like it's an actual evil Goku, black Goku, dark Goku. In fact, I think that whatever's going to happen is going to transition into, you know, somewhat of a dark Goku, a black Goku. But as of right now, I do think that whatever entity this is, it's taking on its original form, whatever that is. And you get to see that in the trailer. So I wanted to get your thoughts on what this might be, because we see like these, from what presumably it looks like, glowing red eyes. Although it looks a little funky because it's located right near his chest area. I wanted to get your thoughts on that. Like, do you believe this is the Makaioshin that we were talking about in the last video? Or do you think this is an entirely new enemy that's able to pretty much do some certain things that are similar to like what Baby was able to do in GT, and that's take over someone's body or possibly possess someone? So what do you think this is? Because we saw the figure holding on to Trunks. He was battling Trunks, in which case we saw Trunks, you know, hit the ground several times. What are your thoughts on what this figure actually is?
Well, I just want to say first, thank you for having me. It's always a pleasure. And
always.
And yeah, we got to see Trunks get knocked on his ass, what, about twice, I think? So it was pretty cool to see that, because we're actually seeing Trunks helpless against this thing, you know? But they also didn't show too much, too, you know what I mean? They kind of are keeping like a mystery in there, but we do know that Trunks is going to be getting his ass kicked in the next episode.
Very badly.
So, but also, Makaioshin, it could be. I mean, I'm still leaning towards that theory, but people in the comment section, I'm not sure if you saw it, but people were bringing up the fact that the androids were depicted very differently. They were like purple beans, purple monsters, or pink beans, the way they were told in stories, but then they ended up being a boy and a girl, you know, a sister. So some people were bringing that up in the comment section, which I thought was really... I forgot about that. I had forgotten about that. Like, do you remember that one?
It's very interesting because when Trunks was telling Goku about these androids, I mean, there was a convoluted story, because he assumed it was going to be a boy and a girl, but it ended up being 19 and 18, and when he saw 19 for the first time, he was like, wait a minute, that's not him. But the only difference here is this being is traveling back with Trunks. But to me, that seems oddly similar to what happened with Cell, because Cell did the exact same thing.
Yeah.
And it's a coincidence that, yeah, this being is traveling back in time with Trunks, similar to how Cell traveled back with Trunks because he didn't have the androids to absorb. But judging based on this character, I mean, we see he has like somewhat of like slanky arms, skinny legs, but a huge torso.
Yeah.
And he has like these red eyes or whatever it is, like towards his chest. So what do you think this is? Is this actually some sort of a Makaioshin, or do you think that it's an entirely new being? Because it definitely does not look like Goku. Goku does not have really long arms, really long legs. I mean, he looks like Slender Man, except with a huge torso, so it looks pretty funky. But
yeah,
what do you think this is? I mean, because he's huge. I mean, as he was hoisting Trunks up in the air when he had his hand on his throat, he looked huge. So what do you think this is?
Well, first, before I go into that, I just wanted to reply to the people who were, because there were tons of people and I couldn't get to every single one of them, but people in the conversation who were saying that is, the difference, guys, here is Trunks was telling Goku a story about the androids. This seems to be as if Trunks living what's going on. So we are seeing what Trunks is seeing at the same time. A black demonic figure that looks like a wolf traveling and curving all over the place. So I think that's the difference here. I mean, it would be I mean, I could be wrong. For all we know, the episode starts off with Trunks coming to the past and he's telling them about the story of what happened. You know, maybe. Who knows? We don't know.
In which case, actually, if you pay attention to the preview, we see Goku and Vegeta, and they looked very, very shocked for some reason.
That's right.
But if you pay attention to the background where they're presently located, It seems as if they're located on Beerus's planet again. I mean, why they're there, we don't know. But if you guys take a look at the trailer down below and you pause it at that specific scene, you get to see what appears to be Beerus's planet in the background, which again, I think that somebody's going to inform them. I think it's going to be Whis, because Whis knows everything. Beerus doesn't really care. All he cares about is food.
That's true.
But going back to the theory of, you know, traveling here and there and having to talk about Bulma as well, because we saw this one scene also, if you guys freeze frame it, to where Capsule Corp looks like it's about to burn because there's fire all around the area. There looks like there's a giant hole in the ceiling. So things are happening, and things are happening rapidly fast, and just having to look at what's going on, we saw Trunks pick up like this blue liquid, and you brought up a very interesting theory that he might dye his hair because, you know, he believes that his mom might die and he may pay homage to that. But actually, looking at this, I think that that's already debunked, and I think that we can all agree that that may be fuel to his time machine, because I don't think that he's gonna have the ability to come back, just have like a two-way trip. I think that this is a one-way shot, and he's gonna have to leave his mom behind, which is why I think he's crying. So what do you think? What do you think is going on here?
Well, I mean, I'm just gonna get this out of the way. It's we're recording this Thursday, and the episode's coming out on Saturday. So I'm just going to go ahead and give my last prediction and last theory on all this. To answer your very first question from the beginning of this video, yes, I still do believe it's a Makaioshin, and I believe that's why he's depicted the way he is, the way he looks.
It's Broly, bro.
I believe that's a Makaioshin, and I believe Future Bulma will kick the bucket. I'm saying that right now. I believe she still will.
For sure.
I think so. My prediction is she will, and that's why we see Trunks crying. And then the fuel, I believe that filler arc with Monica, and Bulma, I think she was accidentally, unknowingly creating fuel for So
foreshadowing. Okay.
So when Trunks comes back in the past for whatever reason, maybe he can't go back, Bulma will create that for him towards the end of the arc and be able to send him and Mai back into the future. That's what I think that was for. I think that was the foreshadowing of that. But that's like my overall prediction there. That's my overall prediction. I believe Bulma will kick the bucket. I believe that liquid was fuel, and I believe for the people who are making the comparisons between what Bulma was doing with Monica and Future Bulma, I believe that's the comparison there. That's everything. That's the fuel. That's the whole thing. And
I would have to agree, because she was also looking to see if she can have some help, because mind you, when Monaca came by, she was like, everyone's gone and it's just me, so I need your help on this. And she was creating something, and if you pay attention to the machine, now that you think about it, it looks oddly similar. And people often complain about, oh, filler sucks, filler this, filler that. I get it, but sometimes, as you just pointed out, which kind of baffled me just for a second, filler can be foreshadowing something bigger, as we just saw with the scene with Monaca and Bulma, and the scene that we're going to see with Future Bulma and Trunks and stuff. What I think, again, I agree with you. I think that this could be a Makaioshin because they were spoken about for such a long time. We do know of their existence. They debuted back in 2009. We spoke about this in the previous video, but in this trailer, I think that they didn't really show too much, but we're not going to see as much as we all think we are. And what I mean by that is, I think that this is definitely going to be a cat and mouse scenario where Trunks is running and this thing is chasing him, and towards the end he's finally going to escape, where he's going to rendezvous with everyone else, but at what cost? As you just said, at what cost? It could be the fact that his planet might be completely destroyed, his mom might be gone, and as you said, all he really has is Mai, and we get to see them, you know, like huddled in like a hallway, and he's holding on to like this you know, liquid dividium, whatever it might be. He's holding on to it. He's crying, but he's still we're still getting more out of that particular scene, which I believe she's gonna convince him to come along with him and stuff, and it's gonna be a really emotional episode. People are gonna say, well, it's not really gonna be that serious. Yes, it is. In terms of action, however, I don't think we can expect to see crazy amount of action. Only due to the fact that this is gonna be a very desperate looking, you know, scenario to where he has to escape, and if you pay attention to this, you know, preview, again, the trailer's only 1 minute and 20 seconds long, he seems to be trying to get away. By all means, he's hiding in a way, and I mean, when was the last time we've ever seen Trunks hide? I mean, he's hiding, so depending on how strong he is, because Dragon Ball Super has been very inconsistent with power levels, and that's been bothering me for a very long time. Dude, it really has. But like, I would say the 3 scenes that really got me intrigued was Goku and Vegeta having to be on Beerus's planet. Why? We don't know. Nor do we know the time frame. Like, how long were they up there? What are they doing up there? Are they continuing their training? Did Whis bring them there to inform them like, yo, listen, there's something going on, I need to tell you about it?
Yeah.
The scene where that thing is holding Trunks in the air, because it looks like the scenario where Trunks, combated the entity when he pulled out a sword. I think that transitioning forward from that, I think that he's going to get knocked down, as we saw in the trailer. He's going to get picked right back up, and something's going to happen to where he barely manages to escape. Maybe the final, for the finale of this episode is Trunks trying to get to his time machine, and this thing finally caught up to him, and he's trying to prevent him from going through time, and Trunks barely makes it at the very end, because the entire episode preview is hailed as Trunks barely making it out with his life, right?
Yeah.
So what did we see in the trailer? We saw him fighting, so maybe he barely makes it out of that fight alive, because there's somewhat of a distraction which causes him to finally get on the ship and just right there just haul ass.
That's true.
But overall, are you satisfied by the way they're depicting this? Because believe it or not, bro, you can't satisfy everyone, and that's sad. We're all Dragon Ball fans. I don't care if you guys love the Bruce Falconer score, the Japanese score, the English dub, the Ocean dub, whatever the case may be. We're all Dragon Ball fans, right? But certain people, I've seen it today, certain people are just like, oh, this is too dark for Toei. This doesn't make any sense because Dragon Ball Super has been very lighthearted thus far. And yeah, that may be the case, but it doesn't hurt to change the tone of the show, don't you think? I mean, what are your thoughts on that? People complaining that this is too dark.
I mean, I've actually seen people complain that Super has been too lighthearted. So for people to be saying that it's too dark now, I haven't seen that. But if people are saying that, that's really just like, really, guys, that's right there. I think the problem with a lot of people nowadays, you can't make everyone happy. You know what I mean? People just find something to complain about, and I don't think it's too dark at all. I mean, if Bulma dies, if she does die, then I'll probably be like, damn, I can't believe they really went that far.
Absolutely.
But other than that, I mean, I don't really see it being that dark. I mean,
And people complain about it being too dark. Did people forget about what Cell did? Cell was eating people.
Yeah.
He was draining people into there was nothing. You get to see humans just completely get disintegrated by this monster. People didn't complain then. So I mean, but then again, YouTube wasn't around back then, so we really don't know. But overall for this episode, are you hyped? Are you super hyped? Or are you just barely getting there because you know that there's not going to be much going on, but there is going to be somewhat of action taking place in this episode? Because I am, by the way you've been talking to me these last couple of days about Super, I am just super hyped because something is building here, something more. And just based on what we saw today with this trailer, it's definitely going to be leading into more bigger and better things to come. So, any final words, Mr. Geeklist, before we head out of here and go back to Beerus's planet?
I'm super hyped, and I mean, it's hyped as I am. I can only predict that this episode will have a lot of dialogue. I know people may not like that, but this next episode,
I don't get why. I don't get why people don't like that stuff, bro.
I mean, that's just how I see it is. I mean, the only action we're probably gonna see is when Trunks encounters this being. And of course, maybe when the being is destroying shit, when he's shooting ki blasts everywhere. That's probably the only thing we're going to see. But I think this is going to have a lot of dialogue because they're going to try and tell us a story and sum it up onto one episode. You know what I mean? Like, why this thing is here or why it's chasing Trunks. You know what I mean? What it's doing. So I think that is going to be a lot of dialogue. But I'm still super hyped because did you see those shots, bro? They looked awesome. There was a scene where it showed Trunks and it looked like a freaking, it looked like movie animation. You know what I mean? It looked good.
I mean, no, the way they presented it, it felt like a movie, right?
Yeah.
Because Resurrection F did something very similar.
Yeah, most definitely.
I was like, yo, are we getting a movie here? But, yo, can you imagine if Monaka ends up being the hero again towards the very end of this arc?
I would, laugh out loud.
Like, somehow he does something really stupid, and he ends up actually getting the upper hand on this, creature or whatever. Oh, my God.
I would, laugh out loud. I mean, dude,
I'd probably facepalm, because I think people are just, sick and tired of seeing him, take the spotlight now with Copy Vegeta, with the thing with Beerus and Goku. It's been nuts. But leave your thoughts down below. Are you guys hyped about this? Are you guys bitter and salty? Because there are certain people that are just very, very salty. But leave your thoughts down below as to your overall thoughts and opinions on this episode preview. Check out Geeklist down in the description, guys. Sub to his channel. He is an awesome lad. He's from Planet Beerus as well. So make sure you guys tag along with him. Again, guys, thank you all for watching. If you guys enjoyed, don't forget to subscribe. Smash that like button if you guys are hyped. Leave a comment down below. And we'll be seeing you all this Saturday. I mean, because that's when everything's going to be going down. So I cannot wait. Take it easy, guys. Peace.